Hey, what's up? Welcome to T is for Transformation. I'm your host, Shaun T, and I'm also your biggest fan to help you transform. How many of you out there have ever been in a situation where you're like, yo, I need to work out, and then you come up with this ridiculous goal, and then like 3 days into your workout, you're like, I ain't doing that. This is crazy. I know there are a lot of head nods, but today, I'm going to take you on a journey with someone very special. And I want you to do this. Imagine challenging yourself to work out every single day for a year. It sounds intense, right? Some of y'all might be like, that sounds insane. But what if I told you that such a commitment could transform more than your body? It could change your life. Well, today on T is for Transformation, we're diving into Mandy Cordero's inspiring story of taking on the monumental task of completing 365 days of fitness. Now, I'll give you this with your boy Shaun T's workouts, but she did it amidst personal upheavals from job changes during COVID-19, which we all battle with, but also she was battling early menopause and overcoming physical injuries. Her journey is a powerful testament to how fitness can anchor us during the stormiest times of our lives. Let's take a look at Mandy's story.
My name is Mandy Cordero. I'm from Chicago. 365 days was kind of like, I don't want to say an even number, but it was a number that you can kind of like count down from. You know, a lot of people start their journeys on New Year's Day. Mine wasn't. So what sparked the decision to actually do this was the fact that I'm getting older. Things are kind of falling apart, I guess you could say. So I've had to face a few challenges during the 365 days of Shaun T, and also after that, COVID kind of threw a monkey wrench into my job. So I work in law enforcement, and they put me on midnights, which I'm definitely not used to. I'm used to working, 8 to 4. So that was a pretty big challenge, trying to figure out how to fit everything in. And I did it. My mother and my grandmother actually both went through menopause when they were 37. And I started my perimenopause, which is early menopause, started kicking in around 37, 38. Channeling that into my workouts was huge. Like, that helped me tremendously, like with my mental health, because, at 37, you're not thinking, you're going through menopause because you think you got, 10, 15 more years till you have to go through that. But I'm actually still going through it. But finding new remedies and new ways to deal with it. And definitely working out has helped a lot, a whole lot.
Mandy, welcome to the show. Come on up here.
Hey.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
I'm not afraid.
If you spent 365 days with me, you should
I know
feel
you.
real. You know me very well.
I'm comfortable.
Have a seat.
All right.
All right, Mandy. So obviously you are committed to trying to do something with your life. But I want to go back to the beginning, meaning the beginning of your life. You have this really interesting story about a video you once saw when you were a baby. Can you tell me about that video?
Actually, it wasn't a video, it was just audio, because that's how old
because
we
we're
are.
old.
That's how old we are. So it was just like on a cassette, the
Yeah.
cassettes. They used to have to stick the
That you
pencil
put
in, and yes.
Yeah.
And my mom, it was during my birth, and after my mom gave birth to me, the nurse literally said, she's so big, she could walk to the nursery herself. So it was during that time that, I think I was like 13, which is kind of like a crucial age of a young girl growing up. And I've always been a bigger kid. And hearing that kind of like really put it in my head, like, okay, you've been big since you were born. And it's probably time to do something about it.
Well, let's talk about that, because one of the other things that's really interesting and frustrating is that people have referred to you as a big girl. Mm-hmm. And it's not uncommon for people to be like, oh yeah, he's a big guy or he's a big girl. not really understanding how it can absolutely affect someone's psyche in a negative way. So how did you handle that, especially just being who you are, being judged by who you are?
I didn't handle it very well until I was an adult, probably, honestly, maybe just like a few years ago. There was a store, I don't know if you remember, it's called 579. Do you remember it?
Of course. I mean, I never shopped there.
Right. And I
But
didn't either
I do
because
remember.
I couldn't fit into anything there. And I remember going to, it's probably like Venture or Zayre. Do you remember those stores?
Yeah.
And I had to get husky clothes. So I went from like big girl size, like young girl size to big adult size. So I was never anywhere like in between. So it took many years to kind of figure out that journey of mine.
I mean, you're also very tall, and girls grow faster than boys.
Yes.
So you were probably the tallest kid in class.
I've
at
been this
some
height
point.
since I was 12.
Yeah,
So,
see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
But, so one of the other things that, I want to discuss is I want to dive deeper into how that can actually affect a young person. Because, like, what kind of struggles did you actually have with that? Because, I mean, there are people out here that are listening that are 100% aligned and understand what you're going through. But what were some of the things that you experienced with that, and how did you kind of break through that?
So when I was younger, it was just my mom and I growing up, and she was in nursing school and working nights, going to school during the day. I was actually kind of raised by my family, my aunts, my uncles, like my cousins were, my brothers and sisters. I was called Mandy Moose as a kid. Yes, I was Mandy Moose. They made fun of my mom's car. They made fun of my clothes. So I got made fun of a lot when I was younger. But on the plus side, actually, I'm kind of, I don't want to say grateful for it, because like while you're going through it, it's like one of the worst things in the world. You feel
Because your
awful.
confidence is destroyed.
Oh, I had no confidence whatsoever, none. So it took many years to finally accept that part of my life. And now I kind of like, not necessarily brag about it, but it's more of like, this is who I am, this is where I came from, and this is where I am now. So it's like I kind of, for many years, tried to dig myself out of that mental hole. I struggled physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. So it was a lot to go through, especially at a young age.
And so before we get into the fitness, there are younger girls out there and guys, and one of their parents might be listening and hearing this. What now, being we were joking before we came on camera, older, now being an older person, like what are some of the, kind of tips or things you can tell, number one, parents to look out for, the do's and don'ts, and what advice could you give a younger person that may be going through that in their adolescence?
Well, I have a 16-year-old daughter myself, so she's tiny. And the hard part for me right now is social media. She's struggling, and I know she's going to actually listen to this, but she's struggling to make herself look a certain way. And she's calling it her, it's terrible to even say it, she's calling it her anorexic era. So for me, right now in this point in my life, I'm trying really hard to not focus on the skinny. I'm trying really hard to not focus on good food, bad food, basically just living. I don't say I gotta watch my calories. I have to watch what I eat. I do say, I'd like to add a little bit more protein into this. She's an athlete.
Do you feel like you are more aware of what you say because you know what she's going through?
100%. But also, too, I have a 15-year-old son who's on the bigger side. And my dad always says, oh, you're so big, you're getting so big, and you're such a big kid. And I try really hard to steer him away from that word.
Yeah.
But he also said it to my daughter we were out to dinner, and 'cause she was getting really thin, and he said, "It looks like you put on some weight," and she just immediately like dropped her food, dropped everything, and I think she may have left. I don't know if she went to the bathroom. I don't know what she did, but I just try really hard to, again, focus on the healthy part. I don't say fat, I don't say skinny, just because I knew how that affected me as a kid.
Yeah, I wish there was a rule book for adults to read, especially us as parents, because we do make mistakes. It's not to say that we're perfect,
Right.
but I wish there was a rule book for us so we can say, hey, these are the things that could possibly trigger an adolescent steer away. And I find myself being so cognizant of that, even as a dad, because one of the things when I was younger is my step monster, which I talk about in my book, used to call me Turtle, and he's just like, "You're slow," but he was kind of making reference to my brain,
Right.
just because I walk slow, and I was just like really interested in life, and I didn't want to walk. I was like, I don't want to walk with y'all anyway. You know what I mean? I wanted to just like experience this life and get away from the negativity, and it really affected my psyche of like, well, am I smart enough? Like all of these, am I enough in certain areas of my life? To the point where now, I have a kid that takes a longer time at one point. One of my other kids walks really slow. And instead of me saying, hey, you're walking too slow, I actually go back and I'll hold their hand and I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, what are you, are you excited about something? And they just don't want to rush. And so it's like those kind of things that I wish we could teach adults to say, like, hey, what you say is extremely impactful to your child.
And you will remember that. There's certain things that you will never forget hearing somebody else tell you.
Yeah.
Especially someone that's supposed to care about you and somebody that you're supposed to look up to. And
Yeah, it sticks with you. So, well, thank you for sharing that, because I know oftentimes that being a part of your life where you struggle, adolescent life
it's awful.
it sticks with us. It's like glue, and it's really annoying, and it's why we all need
Yes.
therapy today, which I know you do go to, which we'll talk about. Let's transition into the fitness, because one of the things I love about your fitness journey, while yes, you focus on you want to lose weight and you want to look good and all this, you challenge yourself to do 365 days with me.
I did.
And if I can just be a little, self-loathing for a second, I'm not the easiest person to work out with for 365 days.
No.
So what was it that made you want to step into that challenge?
I'd been a member of a gym since I was 13. I used to go to the YMCA when I was 13. That's when it all started. And I did Taebo.
Yes, Billy. I love you, Billy.
Ordered the VHS tapes, did those at home. I worked at a gym. I've been a member, lifetime export, the little Cardinal Fitnesses, and nothing really seemed to stick until I did Max 30. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like the first time I ever did it, I was like, oh, like there's no way that anybody can do this. I did it. I did the first one, cardio challenge, and I maxed out, I believe, at 26 seconds. And that was very humbling for me.
I'm going to explain to people who don't know. So Max 30 is a workout where I want you to reach failure. And so when you reach failure, you write the time down. So it's a 30-minute workout. So your goal is to kind of max out further along in the workout, but it's also about recovery time. It's all about peak physical conditioning. And you can see that it's more than about the weight loss you're having. It's about how mentally and physically strong you're getting. So
Yes.
if you can imagine me telling you to push hard and her maxing out at 26 seconds, it's a tough ass workout.
Yes.
But go
Oh
ahead.
my God. So it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Somebody at work actually gave me the DVDs, and they sat there for a long time and they collected dust. So finally, the one day I decided to do it, I maxed out at 26 seconds. But I finished it. I finished at 30 minutes. And then I may have done the second day, I'm not sure. And then I put them down for, a while again. And then I picked it back up and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. So I did it. I don't know what time I maxed out. It was probably like 50 seconds maybe. And I just stuck with it. I did day 1, I did day 2, I did day 3. And then I remember when I finished the 60 days, I cried. I cried because it was, again, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And every day I just got stronger. And so I was like, okay, well, if this guy can do, max 30, let's see what else he's got. And so I delved into the others and decided to come up with 365 days.
Before we go into that, I want to talk about collecting dust, because there are so many people who either get they build a home gym, they buy DVDs from back in the day, or they'll get a membership or subscription to a work, and they don't do it. What is the reason? Why do you think people just let it collect dust, if you will?
Life. That's like the one word that I can come up with is life. Things happen, families, you have kids, you have jobs, you have other household responsibilities. You got to mow the lawn. So it's like, okay, well, I'll count that as a workout. And then you're sore, which happened with Dig Deeper. I'm not going to lie. I did 2 days and I was in so much pain. But I was like,
pain.
it was a good pain, but it was to the point I couldn't sit down to go to the bathroom. Like I was like, okay, like I need, like getting older now, I need a little bit more recovery time, but that recovery time turned into something a lot longer. So it's like, okay, well, I'll give myself this rest, this break to let my body recover.
It's very interesting because most people are going to get annoyed when I say this, but I'm like, obviously you have kids and they have things to do or whatever, but I bet you if I was to look at your entire day, I bet you I could find the 30 to 45 minutes in there for you. And it's not that, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying
Right.
to people out there, because I get it. I'm tired.
Yeah.
A lot of it is procrastination. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like, I have to take my kid to X, Y, and Z in an hour. So I have to do that in an hour instead of being like, yo, let me just get this workout in real
Right.
quick, or.
But sometimes it's not real quick. That's the thing. Sometimes it's not real quick.
Right. I mean, I have 20-minute workouts, 30-minute workouts.
Transform 20, there's no excuse for that one, yes.
I'm always going to come with
Yes.
the no excuses
Yes.
mentality.
Yes.
But even though life was lifing and, you actually finished Max 30, but let's talk about how and why you committed to 365 days. Because most people look at that and be like, that's fucking crazy.
It was
Like, why would
crazy.
you even do that?
I like to set goals for myself, basically, I guess, just to see if I can accomplish them.
Right.
And that was it. I was like, okay, like, what can I do to better myself that's going to take a while to do? Because like a short-term goal, I love those. Those are great. But I needed something that was actually going to make me keep going instead of like, okay, I've finished.
Keep you consistent.
Absolutely.
Make things a habit.
Yes,
Yeah.
a habit. That's very good. Yes, habit. So I just decided, I'm like, okay, like 365 days, let's do it. And that was a big goal. And I did it. And I finished on the beach. I made sure that I timed it. So
Wait, so 365 days, did you work out every single day?
No.
How did you manage that 365 days? Because it does, like even me, I know I'm going to work out for 365 days at some point.
Right.
But how did you manage that without getting overwhelmed?
it sounds cliche, but I basically just took it day by day. So
I don't think it sounds cliche at all.
I didn't necessarily have a plan. I just knew that I had to get to the end, which was 365 days. On days that, I was supposed to rest, I didn't rest. On days that I was supposed to work out, I rested. I just basically listened to my body and what it needed. So some days I did hardcore max 30. Some days I did stretching, like a T25 stretching.
I love that. There was also something else that you were battling, which a lot of women go through and a lot of women don't talk about. Let's talk about the perimenopause and how that is and can be stifling for some people just because you don't know what you're feeling because you're
terrible.
so young.
Yes, I'm 44 now, and I'm feeling it. So it's a feeling of exhaustion, and you don't know why. I mean, you do know why. Obviously, it's your hormones, but you could sleep for 8, 9, 10 hours and just still be exhausted. You struggle just to like get out of bed. The night sweats. You wake up, you're drenched. You get hot flashes, which are awesome. It kind of just feels like your body's burning from the inside out. Your libido goes down. It just tanks. Weight gain, that's another one. It's hard to, it's so easy to gain that weight, but it's so hard to lose it. It's hard to build muscle or keep the muscle that you actually have. It's extremely hard.
I mean, I'm just really glad you're talking about it because there are probably a lot of people out there that feel that way, that may be in their 30s. They think they're too young.
No.
I mean, I've definitely heard my friend Shalene Johnson start talking about just hormones in general and how they really affect women. I know personally, like how even male hormones can
Yes.
enhance your mood and or make you gain weight. And I just think that it's something that we definitely need to talk about more because when people walk down the street, they're like, they judge. They're like, oh, that person needs to work out. Or if they see someone in the gym that's being very consistent in the gym, they're like, well, she's not losing weight. And that person might be like, why am I not losing weight? And they feel this, oh, I'm just tired. I just think everything you said is such great information and warning signs for people out there women out there specifically, who may be questioning whether or not they're doing something right. And with that said, I just remember a few years ago when I had to get my hormones checked in the way I felt, and I was talking to mostly women, to be quite honest. It was easier to talk to them about it because men just don't talk about it. I got a lot of information that literally talked about people don't understand how their hormone levels is really like a telltale sign to like future health issues. If you know.
But I just wish it was talked about more because there's so many, there's millions and millions and millions of women who are going through it that don't have like the support.
Speaking of support, so you did this 365 days. I want to go back to that. And I love that for you, it's not just about losing weight. I love that because you also refer to it as your therapy.
Yes. So again, with the whole life thing, a lot of the times, like, you don't have time for therapy. And that was my therapy. That was my way of letting go of the stress of the day, or actually not really stress of the day because I would usually work out in the morning. So it kind of would set the tone for the entire day, get ready for work, and it just kind of like mellowed me out. And, but yeah, so that was my therapy.
You said you started early in the morning. What was like, how did you get to this point where you would consistently set your alarm for around 4:30? Because that just sounds nutty to most people.
Yes. So what I did was I kind of like, it's like, I guess it's like girl math. Like I would work backwards. So it's like, okay, I have to get in the shower to get ready for work at 5:30. So the workout was 30 minutes. So that brings me to 5. And then I wanted to drink my pre-workout and do a little reading. So that would take me to, and then of course you have to post it, and you have to get your.
You did.
Yes.
And you were very consistent about it.
You have to get all that ready. So I was like, okay, that brings me back to 4:30. But my alarm was actually set for 4:26, which is just a random time because the first day I did it, it was like, say, like 7:26. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna work out at 4:30 in the morning. So I just scrolled down, and said 4 and then said 26, and I just left it alone, and it's been 4:26 for that long.
Forever. Do you still wake up at 4:26?
I do not. No, I do. I set my alarm every morning or every night to wake up in the morning. But then sometime in the middle of the night, I'll wake up and switch it to 5:30.
So now I'm gonna have to step into Shaun T and be like, I mean, obviously I know what consistency is and creating habits. I actually don't like the whole like, you have to work out X amount of days or you have to do this X amount of days to create a habit. A habit is actually formed by just being consistent. So from your lovely 365-day trainer to you, stop changing that alarm clock.
And maybe this is what I needed. So maybe there's a reason why I'm here, so I can,
Also with that 365 days, I remember, because maybe a lot of people don't know, but Mandy has been around me a lot, or we've been around each other a lot. I remember when you went to the police academy. And I remember, I guess, do you consider it like a boot camp? Like, what is it called?
No, no, it's a police academy. It's
The inception of like
Yes.
where you had to do your training. And I remember you messaging me and you're like, I'm in the car. Let's talk about you being in the car, about to step into this arena that's really intense, and how that 365 days and me, I'm just
Yes,
gonna be like,
yes.
and I helped you out.
Oh,
with that.
absolutely. I give you so much credit for helping me through it. So it was a total of 16 weeks, 4 months. But that first day was, I remember also too messaging you when I got home and thanking you for getting me through it, because there's, like there were people dropping out left and right, people passing out, people throwing up, people being taken away by ambulances.
No way.
And I was one of the oldest ones, and here I think I was 41 at the time. It was so hot that day. They made us do this intense nonsense workouts in like full uniform and like, they're called clarinos. They're like fancy police shoes that have no give, no bend, nothing. There's no cushion, nothing.
It's just hard.
Yes, and we did it outside. We had to run around the track. The police academy was at community college. And so we had to run in the stands. We had to do the bleachers, and then we had to run across the football field. And it was more than running, but it was just like...
It was like insanity on crack.
Yes,
basically.
yes, that's a great way to put it, yes. Completing that was the hardest thing I had to do ever in my life. Before that, it was completing Max 30.
So, I mean, but we talk about how tough something is. And we also, again, I like that you don't oftentimes refer to weight loss. And you're in this situation and you're succeeding because you're in peak physical condition and you have conditioned your fast twitch muscle fibers, your lungs, your physiological body to be prepared for this.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised when you say people were being taken away, throwing up, dropping out, because I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but when I created Insanity and we had to have auditions for Insanity, right? I had a test group, but we had to have auditions to hire fitness, professionals, right?
For your video? For the
Insanity workout.
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson when casting. This is where I would learn my lesson in casting, but it's kind of very similar to when you were in the police academy for that first day. So all of these fitness professionals come in, they're like very fit, they're lean, they had all the look.
Yes.
And some of the people from my test group that had only been doing Insanity for 30 days came in. So we start to warm up. And the warm up, it's like jog, jack, Heisman, 1, 2, 3. The warm up is I think 10 and a half minutes. We're like 7 minutes in and people are just like, all these like really cute fitness professionals, muscles.
Walking off camera.
They're like, they can't even do it. And my test group, the people who were just doing it for 30 days were like slaying the game.
Yes,
They were just like looking around like, what the fuck y'all doing? Like, I thought you were a fitness professional. I know you probably felt really confident in that moment. And I say a lot, nothing looks as good as confidence feels. And if you push your body, there's so many, a lot of people say non-scale victories. And so I'm just like so happy.
And one of the things too, the police academy, they're there to like, the instructors are there to like beat you down and like mentally, physically. And it was during one of our trainings that we were doing, our physical trainings. And one of the instructors was like, we're going to do something different today. They're like, who's ever heard of Tabata? And I'm like, I did. I have. And they're like, of course you did. They're like,
were you like the standout?
No, I was trying not to be, because then they pick on you. But but it was one of those moments. I'm like, yes, Tabata. I know exactly what that is from
That's
Max
so
30.
Great.
Yes.
That's so great.
So.
One of the things I also love about you is you understand and value community and surrounding yourself with people who want to lift you up. And, it's really not about me. It's about the fact that you took on this journey to do something for you. And, you surrounded yourself with people who do that. So talk about community either be it family, be it online, that how was that beneficial to you, especially because, you know, we were all looking to see if you posted every day to be like, day 3 of Shaun T.
Day 4.
Day 262.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like your community is huge, and that's kind of like what helped me through it big time was, you know, Dig Deep Nation wasn't a thing back then.
Dig Deeper Nation wasn't around, but we had
Right.
safe space.
Yes,
We had,
yes. And that was huge because I met so many people that were all like-minded. My friends outside of this don't really work out, I guess you could say.
They're not fitness enthusiasts.
Right, right. The online community was huge. Personally, obviously, the people that are a part of this community, there's so many. And just getting that extra push every day, and just knowing that it was something that, I don't want to say that I had to do, but it's like I knew that people were like counting on me to, like, you know, add another day, another day, another day.
Yeah.
But right now I've been stuck on day 5 for a while.
People are rooting for you.
Because I did recommit, but it's been.
Okay, well, let's do day 6.
Let's do day 6.
What time is your flight tomorrow when you leave?
I don't know. I get home at 9:40. I know that. So
AM?
no,
Okay, well, you got time.
I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it today.
Let's go.
I'm gonna work out today and tomorrow. So today will be day 6.
So at the end of your first 365 days, you worked out on the beach. Tell me about that feeling of working on the beach, the feeling of accomplishment. I know you experienced it with Max 30 for 60 days. Like,
Yeah.
what did that feel like?
So my last day working out on the beach probably wasn't the best idea. I don't know if you've ever run in sand or done
In
any.
Florida?
Yes. Oh, it's terrible. Yes, in Florida. I liked the atmosphere. It was beautiful. That helped. But actually doing this in the sand it was terrible. But it was like when I finished it, it was one of the best feelings. It was great, and making that like final recording of actually doing it was great. It was just I don't want to say sense of relief, because it was. I don't know how to put it. Accomplishment, maybe. Yeah. That's better. Yeah.
I think it's a sense of accomplishment. The fact that you did it on the beach. Like, can you imagine your first day of doing Max 30 on the beach? Right?
No,
like,
there's no way. I would have gone like under a bridge or something.
Right.
Yeah.
They're two like completely different things.
Walked right into the ocean.
Yeah. I'm like, when you told me you did on the beach, I was like, girl, but this is great.
Yes.
It's
so
amazing.
it was, yes.
Well, first I'll say, number one, I appreciate you for sharing the story.
Thank you.
It's amazing for you to be able to go from being, I'm going to say, bullied / teased / not cared about to your emotions as a kid, where your family calling you big, to struggling with menopause, to, you know, even just your the DVDs collecting dust, and making a literally 360-degree transformation.
See what you did there.
And I know, you know, to be very transparent, you're like, I'm stuck on day 5, or I did insanity. And what I like to tell people is, when you experience, I don't want to say failure, but when you experience those barriers that get in your way from succeeding, the best thing to do is to look back to see how far you've come, and also use some of those past struggles to be your strength. Because, you know, there was a time where you worked out for a couple of days and you needed a break before, right? Like, it's not something you haven't experienced before. So just keep plugging through. If it's not Dig Deeper, you know, Max 30 has a 15-minute workout. You know, it has a 10-minute workout, right? So it's not about the time, it's about the consistency. And so even if you just did 10 minutes every day, it's better than you know, not doing anything at all.
Yeah, no,
not
I
doing
agree
anything at
completely.
all. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing the story. I definitely appreciate you using me as a tool to help you push forward, because, you know, you're 100% real, which I absolutely love and adore and appreciate. And I know you're going to inspire so many people.
Thank you.
When we come back, we are going to learn some teachable moments. We're going to take a lot of things that Mandy went through, and I'm going to teach you how to put it into your life and put it to good use. We'll be right back. As we dive deeper into Mandy's story, let's explore a fundamental element that played a crucial role in her transformation: habit forming. Understanding how habits are formed can revolutionize the way we approach fitness and life. we're gonna talk about the habit loop. Habit formation is a fascinating process that involves a cue, a routine, and ultimately a reward. The cue triggers the behavior. The routine is the behavior itself, and the reward reinforces the behavior, making it habitual over time. For Mandy, setting her alarm for 4:30, well actually 4:26 was her cue. Engaging in a morning workout was the routine, and the feeling of achievement and vitality was her reward. Now, the importance of specific actions. You know, I'm all about taking action, and research suggests that specifying your actions can greatly enhance habit formation. For instance, saying, I will walk for 30 minutes after work each day rather than just, I will exercise more, helps make the action clear and more actionable. Mandy made her actions as straightforward as possible, which helped solidify her fitness habits. Now let's talk about incentives, the role of incentives. In the early stages of habit formation, incentives can be incredibly motivating. While intrinsic motivation sustains long-term habits, external rewards can kickstart the desired behaviors. For Mandy, the visible improvements in her health and well-being served as powerful incentives. Because as you know, it wasn't just about the physical for her, it was about the overall well-being. My favorite, time and persistence. I always say, time is your best friend and consistency is key. It's important to remember that the time it takes to form a habit can vary. You've heard and read on social media and Google, habits form in X amount of days. No, habits form when you are consistent at taking action. While some habits form quickly, others takes months of persistence. Mandy's journey shows us that commitment is key, regardless of the time it takes. Now on to the influence of social circles. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who share your goals can bolster your habit formation. Mandy found tremendous support in fitness communities, which reinforced her daily commitment to her health goals. That's why I love Dig Deeper Nation. Shout out to all my Dig Deeper Nation crew. If you're out there and you need a group or a community that's gonna uplift you every single day, Dig Deeper Nation on Facebook is the one. Understanding these principles not only help Mandy transform, but can also empower us to replace less desirable habits with positive ones. By setting specific goals, understanding the habit loop, and leaning into a supportive community, we can all foster lasting change in our lives. Mandy's story has shown us that true transformation isn't just about losing weight or getting fit. It's about overcoming the mental barriers that life throws our way. It's about the strength we gain from pushing through day after day. So I want to say thank you, Mandy, for sharing your journey and inspiring us all to face our challenges head on. And remember, every great journey begins with one single step, repeated daily. Let's take those steps toward positive change together. My name is Shaun T. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.